I'm sure they'll come back. So if you want to write anything or say anything in the beginning, I request that you write in the chat. Thank you for coming. Tippy, you want to say something? No, you don't. Okay, so I'm not sure where everyone is. The lesson today is recorded, and I'll send you the recording the moment we finish. So today we're going to talk about, in my opinion, something very interesting. And in order to start, I'm going to ask you please to answer the questions in the Mentimeter. I'm just going to share my screen with you. And in a second, let me just share the screen. It's coming up in a second. Why are you not coming up? Come on, come on, come on. Hang on, my screen's gone a bit haywire. I'm going to start again. I'm sharing the screen, but it doesn't want to share my screen for some reason. Come on, you can't do this to me. Hang on, we've got a few technical problems. Let me just work this out. Again. Okay, so how and where are your pupils exposed to English? If you could please go into www.menti.com and use the code 122307 and fill in 3 words, 3 different times. 1 word answers, please. How and where are pupils exposed to English? I'm going to open your microphones in the meantime if anyone wants to speak. You just need to click on the microphone and you can feel free to speak by clicking on the microphone in the bottom center of the screen. Great. I see that people are starting to answer. Keep going. How and where are pupils exposed to English? You need to go into www.menti.com and use the code 122307. Great. Keep going, guys. I'll sing a song while you're doing this. We are the world. We are the... Oh, very good, very good. I see that school's getting a bit of a bigger push, and we still expecting more people to write. If you've written and you've done this, please raise your hand in the chat so I know that you've done this by voting in the bottom corner. Well done, Tsipi. Well done to Bruria. Welcome to Bruria. Bruria is from our Beit Shemesh Ishtamut that's filling in today. Well done, the school and the TV. I see the school's playing a major part here. But I also see that people get ideas from the internet, from street signs, social media, shopping, movies, and so on. What about Bella, Drora, Ilana, Hannah, Talia, Daisy, Noah, Rizal, Vivian? A few more seconds to fill in your Mentimeter. Only 5 people have responded. If anyone wants to ask a question, you can ask in the chat, or you can ask in with your microphone. Movies, TV. While we're answering, try and think about how many of these things that you're writing over and above school can be done within school. In other words, how can we bring social media, songs, multimedia, computer into the schools? Six people have responded, and there's still 7 more people that need to respond. Benjamin, Daisy, come on, guys. I want to hear you. If you've responded, please raise your hand so I know that you've done this. CP, I'm not sure if I understand what you mean. I'd like to ask myself. You'd like to ask the pupils, or you'd like to ask the people here? Talia, something is definitely happening, and I'm not sure why your screen is white. Perhaps I'll reshare it, and you might get a message to add a plugin. Thanks, Daisy, for responding. I just no need to shout. Talia, you might want to go in and out again of the program, but there's definitely something on the screen. Okay, so only 6 people responded, but that's good enough to carry on. So how and where are pupils exposed to English? Through shopping, social media, school, movies and TV are bigger, so that means that more people chose them. Through the street signs, perhaps through the phone, and so on. Okay, so the next question I have for you, and I'd like you to answer, please, is on a scale of 1 to 10, how often do you use these mediums shown in the last slide? And I definitely spelled mediums incorrectly. Medium. Yeah, I definitely spelled it incorrectly. Sorry about that. So how many of you used these mediums in the last slide? How many of you, only 1 person responded. All you have to do is choose an amount between 1 and 10. How often do you bring the street signs into the class? How often do you bring movies? How often do you bring social media? How often do you bring songs into your class? Okay, so that's quite a high number. What I'd like to do today is show you a situation that we had. Thank you for everyone. How would you bring street signs into the class? I'm going to show you an idea of taking not bringing so much taking the class, but taking the street signs into the class, but more taking the school children out of the class. And that's what we're going to talk to you a bit about today. Obviously, if I wanted to bring street signs into the class, I could take pictures of street signs and bring them into the class. You could definitely show the Google Maps on the computer and take kids on a street tour of through the Google Maps. That could definitely be an option. But today we're going to look at an option where we actually take kids out of the class and break down, so to call, the four walls, and we take kids out of the class. So we're gonna. I don't know if any of you remember, and those of you that were in the Hishtalmut last year, on the last session we played a game called Goose Chase. And I'm going to show you an authentic lesson where children actually played Goose Chase, and we're going to talk a bit about your thoughts on it and so on. Okay, so what I'd like you to do, please, is I'm going to place a link in the chat, and I'd like you to go into the link and answer the questions. I'm going to show you the link over here, and there are different different what's a heged in English? Different points of view. And I'd like you to add an argument, statements. Thank you, Tippy. I'd like you to add an argument 2 or 4 to any of the statements that have been said, and then vote for the one that you feel is the most suitable for you as a teacher in your classes today. So the link is in the chat. Please go into the Tricider, and I'll leave it on the screen. And I'd like you to read through the different statements and add an argument for or against by clicking. For example, we have no outdoor area around our school. Studying outside the class is impossible. And you add an argument and you say for, then try and make a plan. And then you say if it's a negative comment, make it a negative or a positive. Please try and fill in as many as you can. You have about 10 to 15 minutes to do this. And then once you've filled them in and you've seen the different responses, please click and vote on any one of the arguments that you vote for. Go for it, and I'm leaving this on the screen so I can watch what you're doing. If anyone doesn't understand, please raise your hands and ask in the chat or via your microphone. If anyone doesn't understand, I took down all the hands. So if anyone doesn't understand, please feel free to disconnect it again. I'm sorry, Benjamin. Keep trying, and you'll be with us as much as you can. Yofi, guys, I see that people have started responding. I'd like you, if you don't mind, to please write your names when you're responding so that we can see who's responding. It's not vital, but please try. I see that some people have already voted. That's great. Outdoor learning provides an opportunity for informal, playful, attractive, and more enjoyable learning. Talia says that as a student, it was one of her favorite things to do. I can think for anyone getting up from a chair from sitting all day is probably one of the best things one can do. Remember that there are other things at the bottom. Go away, mosquito. It's a problem of studying at home. They're full of mosquitoes. I mean, you can't see that, but there are. Sorry. Go away, mosquito. Okay. No more mosquito problems tonight, by the looks of things. Okay, Benjamin, I hope you're with us. For those of you that have just joined, if there are, no, I think everyone's been here for a while. By the way, if anyone wants to speak, feel free. Your microphone can be opened by just clicking on the microphone in the bottom of the middle of the screen at the bottom. If anyone wants to relate to anything that people have written, because there are some things, there's a discussion going on between people that would like to take the students out once in a while. And then someone else said, yeah, but the regular way of learning is just needed sometimes. So if anyone wants to comment, but I still see that the I wonder how long you haven't heard me for. So yes, I'm talking and just got it back. Okay, so we're now moving from the try side, and thank you very much for responding. I see that the most important one was the outdoor learning provides an opportunity for informal, playful, attractive, and more enjoyable learning. And I'm not sure how long I spoke without the mic. When I see the recording, it'll tell. But we're now going to watch an authentic lesson where children did this exact thing. They moved out of. Rory, you need to respond. Hang on. You need another 3 minutes, Benjamin. I'll give that to you. Refresh screen if you can't hear. Click on F5. Yes, I know. I'm sorry. Oh, about 3 minutes. Thank you. It must come with the age, I'd imagine. So I'll say again, if anybody wants to speak, by clicking on your microphone, which I didn't do, but by clicking on your microphone in the middle of the screen at the bottom, you can speak. And if you want to add anything to this by adding your voice, then feel free to do so. If for any reason my mic goes off, please write in the chat that we can't hear you, because then at least I get that idea that I'm talking to people. Okay, so we're going to watch the video, and right after the video, I'm going to ask people to respond with the microphones, telling me what they think about the video. Here we go. open up the camera, and I'd really like if people would be happy enough to speak and tell us about the video over and above the chat. Excuse the mess in my room. Talia, perhaps you want to tell us a bit more about what your kids did. It's very important that I hear you as well. Obviously, if you don't have a microphone, that's okay. Anyone? Anyone? Quoted from Ferris Bueller Days Off. Anyone? 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 As in no one? Is it because it's late at night, or because it was too confusing, or? Okay. A little bit about the game. In principle, had we met today, we would have played the game ourselves, but I think you got a fair idea of what it was all about. I'm just watching myself speak on the thing, and I don't, if no one's going to talk, then I'll take off the webcam. The game, when asked about the cell phone, so kids can't use cell phones in school. We need special permission to do a game like this. The game is called Goose Chase, and I'll put it up on the site, how to access it and how to run it. But you only need 5 cell phones. So there's not a problem of who's got a cell phone, who hasn't. There are enough cell phones in the class to run the game. It's very simple to organize. And the questions, the teacher made the questions. She made them quite easy. She also made the questions here in English and in Hebrew, which could be a problem because a lot of the kids, they were speaking in Hebrew and perhaps making it a bit easier for them. But essentially, an English lesson, perhaps the clues or the questions could be in English with a few words here and there. There are 3 options in the Goose Chase board. There's an option to film a video, where you can have them filming for a number of a few seconds. They can film singing a song in English, or saying a poem, or telling their names, or telling a story. There's a section where you can take a picture, where they were asked to take a picture with something in English. And the third option was you can have them answer a text message, meaning who said this famous quote, or ask them a question, changing a word. Thank you. I just got coffee, Ezio. Thank you to my dear wife. So the kids, for example, you can ask them to change something from present to past, or past to present, and if they don't write the right answer, they can't move on. They can't they can't get the points, and they can't move on. What's also nice about the Goose Chase is that everything is saved and sent up to the cloud, and you can show the kids exactly what is happening on online at the time, and you can also show them, it's showing them what's been in what they've done according to different Mesimot. You see better than meeting at the Pisgah. Okay. Okay, so we've now, just to go back a second, so what we've done up to now is we showed that on a scale of 1 to 10, people are bringing in other mediums into the classroom. We can see that a number of things, mediums, are brought into the class. What we're going to do now, I see that we have 13 people, so I'm going to divide you into pairs, and one group will have 3 people in it, and I'm going to give you a link. And what I'd like you to do, it would definitely be great with high schoolers, could even send them to the street to get answers. It's interesting that you said that, Rizal, because there is also a GPS option. What is a GPS option? Meaning you could send them to a certain place where you've got the GPS coordinates, and if they get to the right place, they get the point. So if you send them to Migdal David, for example, and you've got the coordinates from Migdal David on the game, then when they get to the right place, they'll get the points. If I can, what I'll try and do is just upload a copy of Goose Chase of a game, and then you can just see what I'm talking about. Goosechase.com. Let me go into it. Come on, come on. I'll take it with one of the groups that I've used in. Let me just see if I can log in. Can. So we did do this, didn't we? Was this us? No. No, sorry, this was the East Jerusalem Pisgah, but not says. But you can see here, for example, we've got the groups that did the English song. We've got a group that did the group photo. We've got the. I asked them to write what are the different tools that you can use for working with computers, and then they wrote these things. Now, this was an open-ended question, so they could write whatever they wanted. One of the other options were to. There was a quote. A famous quote, who said it, and then the answer had to be Albert Einstein or Einstein, and if they didn't get that right, they wouldn't be able to move on. I have to tell you that I've never had this game fail, and it's amazing. You just spend a bit of time. I'll upload to the site how to prepare the game, and you'll see what you have to do. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we've done a bit of theory. We've gone into a little bit of practice. We've seen an authentic lesson. And what I'd like you to do now is, let me just go into my drive and bring up the links. Everything was ready until my my computer fell, and then everything went down. Okay, so I'm going to put the links into the chat. And what I'd like you to do, please, is you're going to go into this folder, and you're going to work in pairs. And when I say work in pairs, you're going to have this option to chat with one another. You're choosing a subject from the curriculum and grade. Learning goals. What are your goals for the activity? What are the benefits of outdoor learning in this activity? And what is the description of the activity? You don't have to prepare a whole lesson. What I'd like you to do is just prepare an activity. The activity could be a few minutes like Goose Chase, or it could be a few more, a longer activity. I'm going to just randomly divide you from the top. So Bella and Bruria, you'll be group 1. Drora and Ilana, you'll be group 2. Hannah and Talia, you'll be group 3. Daisy and Noah, you'll be group 4. And Razel, Tipi, and Vivian, you'll be group 5. And I'm going to put the links in the sharing now, in the link part now. Please click on your relatives. So you've got the first one, the second one, the third one, and so on. Please go into the lesson plans. Wow, you guys are fast. I see that group 1's already in. And feel free to chat by clicking on the chat and comment, or chat with each other, and so on. So the group 1's already in. I'm not going to show you the results at the moment, but we'll get into that later. In the meantime, I'm going to show you the Tri-Sider. If anyone needs to ask anything and you want to ask anything in the chat, go for it. I'm going through the groups again. Group 1 is Bella and Bruria. Group 2 is Drora and Ilana. Group 3 is Hannah and Talia. Group 4 is Benjamin and Daisy. And Group 5, no, we've made a mistake, sorry. Bella and Bruria, Drora and Ilana, Hannah and Talia, Benjamin and Daisy, Noah and Rizal, you'll be group 5, and 6 will be Tipi and Vivian. I'll just add 6 now. Tipi, once you're in your group, you've got the option, once you're working on the document, you've got an option to add comments and chat. You can also ask for a phone number and call each other if you want. It might be easier in the long run. And I'm not entirely sure how that happened, but try and go to the groups that I told you. I'll do it again. Bella and Bruria, group 1. Drora and Ilana, group 2. Hannah and Talia, group 3. Benjamin and Daisy, group 4. Noah and Rizal, group 5. And Sipi and Vivian, group 6. I will definitely explain about the final assignment. I'm leaving time for that. We're here till 11. So, now that I woke you up. Well done, Brewer. You're doing exactly. No, there can't be 4 people in group 1, guys. Come on. What are you doing? Dora, you did it already. You're talking about the final paper, or you're talking about what you. Talia's all alone in a group. How did that happen? Let's see. With Talia. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hannah, you with Talia in a group. Please move over to group 1, 2, 3, 3. Guys, unfortunately, the chat must be. You can talk with the comments then. If the chat's not working, I think because you're in as anonymous people, you can't add the chat on for some reason. It's not letting you, but I suggest you even open up a new slide, and that can be the chat. Well done, Brewer and Bella. You're on your way. Let's see who else is working. Group 5. Okay, well done, Razel. Group number 2, you can write there with pleasure. Maybe this is the chat. Feel free to write in the bottom part of the screen. You can write there. Well done. In group 2, there's only one person. Drora and Ilani is supposed to be in group 2. Group 3. Daisy and her partner, Daisy and are going crazy. Are going well done. You're brilliant. Group 3. Talia, I hope you got. No, you're back. Guys, I'm giving you 10 minutes for this till 12:30, and then we'll talk about the final paper. I want to show you 1 or 2 nice things, and then we're going to close off. Once again, feel free to phone each other. And you can talk via the telephone. I can't even speak in English anymore. Via the telephone, it might be a bit easier than chatting, but I see that people are managing either way. I know it's quiet, and I mean, I'm not going to talk much, but I hope you guys are doing well. And if you need any help, I'm moving through the groups, seeing what you're doing. I'm not entirely sure what happened with group 2, but there's only one person in group 2. Liking the idea in group 6, well done. Rora, you're supposed to be in 1, 2, 3, in group 2 with Ilana. I'm typing to make it think people are working on making sounds and things. If you're smiling, you can put a smile in the chat box just to make sure that you think that you can actually hear me or not. So, guys, another 5 minutes. We're done. Tippy, we're going to have a look at it in a second. Tippy, what group are you in? Well done. Tippy, please. I think you're number 6, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to have a look at it in a second. Tippy, have you got a microphone that you can present it when I put you on the stand? I hope. Yes and yes. So we're gonna.
Yeah, I do. You hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Great. So when in a few minutes I'll put you on the stand and we'll show you.
No problem.
Great. I thought I was the only one here. Seems like I'm not. Thank goodness. Okay, anyone else done? I'm looking. Group number 6 is done. 3, 4, 5. Okay, group 4 didn't move yet. They're probably thinking all in their own homes. And group 5 are doing well. Okay, so another 5 minutes and then we're going to move on. Just for those of you who know or don't know, there's a program called Zoom, which is similar to this program that I'm using, where you can actually break into rooms and talk. Unfortunately, my program doesn't have that option, unfortunately, but definitely would have been worthwhile. But I'm really impressed to see the work that you're doing and you're managing. Yeah, I'm scared if I put Sippy on now, then you guys aren't going to listen. So another 5 minutes. Make coffee in the meantime. Eat the popcorn that you made. Perhaps clean a few things for Pesach. Hug your kids good night, or they should be way fast asleep by now. Or hang laundry. Yeah, anything goes. In fact, I could do a bit of laundry hanging myself, but not tonight. Anyone else done? I'm waiting for another 2 groups to finish. You've got another 4 minutes, and I'll keep quiet in the meantime. Okay, group 1 is done. Well done. Group 1 and group 6 are done. It's the opposite side of the dice. I'm waiting for one more group to finish, and then we're going to present. Bella or Brura, do one of you have a microphone that you can present, please? A little bit difficult presenting it through the chat. Okay, Brura definitely isn't going to present, but what about Bella? Do you have a microphone, Bella? If not, we'll make do without it. Okay, one more minute. It's interesting. I didn't know this, but every time you comment, I get a message on my phone that you're commenting on the document. It's okay. I'll manage to fall asleep tonight, I hope. Okay, so let's move to group 6. You can feel free to carry on working, but please listen to what Tsipi's saying. I'm just going to share the screen, Tsipi, and I think it's this one. 10. Okay, hit it, Tsipi.
Okay, basically this is a game I like doing a lot. I put up in the schoolyard different categories. I chose here to talk about weather and clothing. So I would put up summer, winter, fall, and spring. You divide the class into 2 groups and then you give them a word. For example, shorts. The first kid from each team has to run and reach the post that says summer first. And that's the winner and they get a point.
So where do you do it in the yard outside?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because that way they could run.
Great.
Have space. There's speed. There's tension.
Obviously, if you do this in your class, then you make sure your class is away from the principal's office.
Yeah, there would be terrible chaos.
Yeah, but that's great. That's lovely, and it's short and sweet, and I like that, and it's something that can be even done tomorrow morning.
Thanks.
Well done. Okay, Bella, do you have a microphone? Bella. Okay, I'm going to share group 1. That's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Bella, I take it you're not going to talk at this stage. So your subject is food in grade 5, and you're talking about the learning goals of vocabulary enrichment and oral language prefer speaking. And the benefits of the outdoor activity are to do something different, to be active, to share with other classmates or classes, fun way of learning. Classes, fun way of learning and having fun while learning. Let me just take the scissors back to the classes. And what do? They go around the classes and check what do students eat at school. Healthy, unhealthy food survey. Describe a sandwich. I like this idea. Take pictures of sandwiches and ask students to describe their sandwich. That would be a lovely idea. Even to use what we're doing now with Google Slides. Each person takes a picture of their sandwich and you upload it to the Google Slides. I like that very much. You can also use a Google form to check the answers and to put it into the survey. Well done. That's a lovely idea, and getting them out of their seats. I just think that the kids on the best of times sit too many hours in a seat behind the table. So I love that idea. Well done. Is anyone else done that they'd like to show? And well done for introducing our chat where we can chat to people. That was very clever of you guys. I think you were the first. Okay, what about other group? Anyone? Guys, Tsipi hasn't got any more washing to hang up. Come on. Laundry, should I say. Anyone, any group? Come on, we're just going to have to go with group number 4. Didn't get anywhere. Group number 6 we've done. Let's close those 2. And group 1 we've done. What about group number 2? Anyone want to talk from group number 2? Group number 2 is Drora or Ilana. Anyone? After the lesson, I'll ask what word did I say mostly in this lesson, and that would be anyone. Pure tough crowd. Okay, so group 2 spoke about exotic pets in the 10th grade. To be familiar with some exotic pets, the outdoor activity provides an opportunity for more enjoyable learning, and it presents new challenges for the students. And I imagine you just about finished writing your outdoor activity. Visit a pet store. That's a lovely idea. Ask them, have a survey of how many kids have got pets, how do you take care of your pets, perhaps video kids taking care of their pets at home. I think that might be more for an elementary school. But definitely, even look on the YouTube how to wash your pet, how to take care of your pet. There's a lot of things you can do, but getting out of the classroom is important. Okay, group 3. I'm sorry I'm rushing you guys, but group 3, we have anyone from group 3, which would be Hannah, Talia, anyone who wants to tell us about the lesson? Daisy, anyone? Sure, just look, maybe you can't hear me, but see, you can hear me. Okay, so why don't I read it then? So the third group, for lack of people who want to present it, will be read by Howie. Subject from the curriculum is the weather and clothing. I'm not sure what grade it is, but to learn different seasons, weather, and clothes, and to put them all together. You can use a ball, or whoever's wearing a blue shirt, stand up and jump. Memory by more than just words, using other senses. No use of letters for those of the class which struggle. Prepare the class a few days ahead to bring a lot of clothes and accessories for different seasons. Say sentences that refer to the heat, cold around you. Ask the kids to wear appropriate clothes they hear, or use the flashcards to play memory games. What I like to do with clothing is I like to do a fashion show, but it's not a fashion show that you'd see on the TV, but more a kid, whatever he's wearing, walks down the aisle, does a turn, does some sort of acrobatic move, and then he says, I'm wearing a blue shirt, green pants, black shoes. And then he moves off, and then they can come together, they can work together, and they can do this outside. You can make a whole maslul, you can make it quite important. You can have a karyan, a narrator that tells what people are wearing and so on. It could be a lot of fun. You can also have them play the chocolate game where you dice and you have to change clothes, and you can't eat the chocolate. And if you get a 6, you eat the chocolate, but you can't eat the chocolate until you actually change your clothes and wear different items of clothing. You can say, okay, this time you have to put on a hat and glasses. Next time you have to put on shoes and what you said here is bring a lot of clothing for them to wear. Definitely, it might be better in summer where it's easier to wear less clothing, easier to put on extra clothing. And the final group, group 5, I'm sure that Razel wants to speak.
Sure, I can try.
Thank
You
you.
can hear me.
Just my voice is going to go soon.
Do you hear me?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we picked recycling from grade 5. One of the things was I put in to see how recycling and other environmental efforts are accomplished in the neighborhood. You can actually go outside and see what's really happening in the neighborhood, not just what's in the book. So you could go ask the students what items could be recycled, and then they could go around the school and ask the students and teachers what they recycle, and then they would walk around their neighborhood and mark the different recycling and environmental efforts, like not only recycling but also what are we calling those bins where you put the composting? Sorry.
Right.
And then whatever
Sorry.
the lowest form of recycling is, then the students would either write letters, you could do social media or send emails and posters in the school to try and bring that one to the same level of the same amount as, recycling plastic bottles and things like that. So
well done. I mean, that's great. It's
you.
also a combination of taking the kids outside and working on something that you've done outside, inside again. So that's really, really good. And they have to go outside in order to formulate and understand what they're going to be doing inside. So I think that's a combination of both, and that's very well done. Guys, I think you did very well for the lack of communication that you could have between yourselves. I think you did very well. If anyone who wants to relate to things that have been said here, we've got here 45 activities that you can take into your classrooms tomorrow, which I think is good. What I will do is I will link all of your ideas into one document, and I'll put the document on the site. Any other things that you want to ask? And then otherwise, I can see you yawning. No, I can't really, but I'm imagining that. I want to show you, share a project that we did a week and a half ago. It was called Humor in English, and I think I might have sent you the link. And we had a bit of technical issues, but overall, I think it was very successful. And I want to show you one of the videos that the kids did. Please just write in the chat if you can hear it, because it's important. If you, it starts off with no sounds. I don't get it right, but.
There's a fire in the phone. Oh, here's the phone. Hello, there's a fire. What? Where's the fire? It's here in my house. It's a fire. Come here. Okay, fine. Get out of this house. Get out from the building. Get out. Every single person to go out. Oh, my house. It's burning. Get on the cars. Get on the cars. Okay, everybody. Okay, I want to do a video of this too. So let's put this out. It's my house and it's burning. I need to take care of it. Okay, I'm coming. Who is it? Okay, good. Go out. Yeah, exactly. Hey, this is my house and I will take care of it. I don't need any help.
Okay, so what we did, we asked kids to I can't think of it, improvise on Charlie Chaplin's movies, and then we showed it. So these were two kids from a religious school in Bet Shemesh. We now see kids from my school, and then we're going to see two kids from Ein Rafa and Akuba, two Arab kids.
I don't like it. Wait, I can explain. I don't like it. Wait, I can explain. Charlie. Come on the car. Take it. Oh, Charlie. Hi, Charlie. Hello. You want to come with me in the bike? Come, my lady. Come. Yes. Here we go. Yeah. Where is my lady? There's the tree, there's the rocks, there's you, there's something. Okay, I'm going to catch you. It's funny. I love it. Yeah, that's you. Okay, I'm going to catch you. Charlie. Wait, it's what? No. I'm cold and wet. I'm going to get sick. I take you home. Come with me. Thanks, my love. As I was saying, hello, my lady. Look here, look there, look at the tree. Oh. I want to move the piano. Can you help me? Yes, I can. Give me the rope. No, I want the rope. I am stuck. Help me. I am stuck. Help me. Please. I am listening. Oh, thank you. you. Oh, my, help me. Thank you so much. One, push, one, push, one, push, one, push, one, push, one, push, one. I got it. Push, one, push, one, push, one, push, one. Oh, no. Oh.
Okay, so those were the sweet movies, and the kids loved doing it, and they got they really enjoyed themselves, and the movies were well received by people that saw it. When I get the recording of the actual schedule of the actual broadcast that we did, I'll share it with you guys. Okay, so now to the best part of the evening, the part when we finish. I'm going to talk just a few sentences about what we did this year, and then I'm going to go to talk about the actual work. Okay, so we started off this year with introduction to the, I'll make it a bit bigger so you can see, introduction to the course, expectations. We saw about Flipgrid. If you remembered, we recorded ourselves, and we saw a bit about digital natives and who they are, and I asked you to download the island, the virtual island. We had a very brief, a smaller meeting with the people that didn't go to the course of PET in December, where we filmed teachers in a vocabulary lesson. And a special thanks to the teachers that came to that. I will post a video of the lesson that they recorded. I will talk about how I did the thing with the movies with pleasure. You can't hear. Drora, refresh your screen. I can't refresh your screen. I'll send a thank you to Ilana and Razel, who stayed behind afterwards, and we filmed them, and they came out beautifully on camera. I'm thinking of sending it to Hollywood because they've got a future in film for sure. We then did a whole talk about how to get your children talking, and that was using the Flipgrid. And actually, we saw a video, an authentic video of a teacher teaching. We then went on to advanced digital. We did a bit. That was the lesson we did in the Pisgah. We talked about augmented reality. We spoke about green screen. Making a movie with green screen, and I don't know if you know, but I put a link here to try and get a free version of Camtasia. You need to write to them. There's a questionnaire that you have to fill in. It's worth trying. Some people in Beit Shemesh have done it and actually got the free version, and it's worthwhile. So, and you get to get a free version. You don't have this movie was made by Camtasia and so on. And there's an exact how to make a green screen effect. How to create augmented reality. We then had, in my opinion, one of the better lessons for the people that attended was the meeting where we were online in the virtual world. And for those people who didn't manage, there's a video here of what actually happened. I'll just quickly show it to you. It was an hour-long session, and it was okay. So it was really amazing for all of us to be in the
okay, guys, go past the video, please. You don't have to watch the video.
Okay. If you haven't seen that, it was actually quite a laugh and worthwhile seeing that. The second last lesson, you had to respond to the videos of you had to choose 2 videos. That was probably the hardest thing because the videos were good and you had to basically watch them all. But thank you for responding. And then the second last thing was the portal, that you had to go into the portal and answer some questions in a Google document and create a lesson. Razel, yes, there definitely is, and I'll send it to you directly after this meeting. I forgot to send it to you, and I'll send it to you. Okay. Mechuyavut to the Pisgah. I'd really like you to go into this Shelon Haracha and just answer a few questions. That's instead of them coming around to the Pisgah, around to the lesson and giving you a form to fill in, please take a few minutes and fill in the Shelon and Haracha. And then I think there's a, what is this part? Sikum Haracha Lishtalmut. You don't have to do that. That's not important. But what is important is the final task, which is coming up in a second. Okay, so the final paper, when you go in to it, I can't do it from here, but when you go into it, nothing happens. Why? Oh, I'm clicking the wrong thing. You've got the final task. When you click on the final task, it will open up this. And let me read it to you. The final project is broken up into two parts. The first part is a culmination of tasks that you'll be working on throughout the Ishtalmut. Please present this in the form of a slideshow. So what you have to do is choose one or two tools. It's okay if you do one. Two things that you're exposed to in the course, and I'd like you to write about them and how you will use them in the course. For example, if you take the green screen and augmented reality, or you take the flip grid and goose chase, and you take two things that you've used throughout the course, and you present them in a way of how you use them in class. Please don't do it on a Word document. I want it in either in PowerPoint or Google Slides or Outbooks, and emails, which I have you on. I don't want it in Google in Word or Docs. Part two is the questionnaire, where you just have to answer these questions. It's very important for me and the Pisgah. Where did you hear about the course? Was the course beneficial? What were the strengths and challenges? Would you prefer to learn face-to-face? I think that's a no-brainer, because I think people are happier to learn outside the Pisgah. What if it was missing from the course? Would you like a similar course? Now is the time to talk about the course next year. If you're interested in doing a similar course or a different course or something, and this can be answered in a doc file. I'm also happy to learn in my pajamas, but I'm not in my pajamas yet. And I'm sure Tzipi would prefer because she can hang her washing. Tzipi, I'm going to show you in a second how come it didn't let you respond to the others. That's the course. Just a message for Bruria. Don't upload it here. You upload it obviously to the Beit Shemesh site. Any questions about this? If you go into the TED Talks and you click on the response to the videos, yeah, you can answer in Google Slides as well. It doesn't have to be in a Google document. You click on the video responses, and once you've given your video response, you wait about 15 minutes, and then you can respond to others. You can see here all the responses to the other people, and so on. Okay, now just one last confession before I sign off. I've had a hard year in terms of the amount of things that I've had to do, and I haven't graded and given feedback to the people as well as I should have. I think from what I understand, you can miss 20%. I'm not going to. I'd imagine that comes up to about one assignment that you can miss. But I'd rather speak to the Pisgah about that. I know that you can miss 1.5 lessons, but it's different on virtual lessons. So today you don't have any homework that you have to do. The homework was done within the lesson, but you have to do the final paper. The final paper, the due date is the 29th of March. Only kidding. The 29th of April. Any time before that is good. The 29th of April, I want to submit so they can, Hannah, that I saw that. Thank you. That's fine. Any time before that is good, so I can get. What do you mean? Is it the same? Hannah, can you repeat the question? I'm not. No, don't send it again. Oh, sorry. I see what you mean. Yes, definitely send it again, because you have to click on it by sending it to the where I showed you. I'll show you again. You have to send it to here by clicking on the final paper and clicking it over, yeah, by clicking the final task. And someone's already handed in. That was quick. I mean, I've never had that before. But, I mean, you obviously get 50 million points for that. Just for sending it while the person's speaking. That's quite impressive. So as I say, you've got until the 29th of April. Do it after Pesach, do it whenever you can. The moment I get them all in, I'm going to grade them, and during Pesach, I'm going to sit and grade all the people. There are 2 spots where to upload, Nachon, but please make this as the only spot. The Pisgah opened a spot for you. If you've uploaded there, that's also okay. I'll find it. It's not, that's definitely better to upload it to this. And if you haven't done any of the assignments, and I feel that you really need to, I'm going to write to you and you during Pesach, and you'll have a week or 2 to fill it in. But I think that most people handed them all in. Obviously, the people that didn't hand anything in, then don't worry about it, because those are the people that aren't even here today. Any last questions, comments? I hope you enjoyed tonight. Thank you very much to the people that spoke. Ilana and Ilana and Rizal, I'll send you the video. You can use anything and everything, even of tools that I didn't use, any of tools that you want to use, whatever you feel is good for the final project, that's fine. In terms of working together, if you teach at the same school or you want to do it together, that's fine. But the questions, the second part has to be done separately, and you all have to upload an assignment. If you don't upload an assignment, even if it's a copy of somebody else's, if you don't upload an assignment, you're not going to get graded. And that's very important. So you can work together, but the final reflection has to be done separately. So as we say, as the shepherd said to his sheep, let's get the flock out of here. And hope you enjoyed yourself, and hope to see you guys next year at another Ishtalmut. If not at the Ishtalmiot, at things that Pat and the people and I organize. Laila Tov, and Rizal and Ilana, look at your mail. You'll be getting a video soon. Cheers. I don't believe it. Rizal, can you put your email here, please, if you're still here? No, you're not here. Okay. I'll find it.
זה שאיך שהוא מלמד אותנו, זה מדגים איך שאנחנו יכולים ללמד את התלמידים. הוא לוקח את הכלים הדיגיטליים, וגם איך שהוא משתמש בהם בשיעור, מראה לנו מה גם אנחנו יכולים לעשות. מודלינג, סוג של מודלינג כזה, ומזה אני לומדת בכיף ובקלות.
Today we're going to talk about vocabulary acquisition. We're going to talk about how to master vocabulary. We're going to look at a model. And